We have to do more than just build back better. We have to build back better.
Well, folks, Joe Biden's full address to Congress was a massive failure. It had the lowest ratings in history, with only 22 million viewers and only half of the audience of Trump's first speech. Not only that, Biden has announced his plans to spend over $6 trillion in stimulus packages and social plans. The GOP slams Joe Biden for his ridiculous spending that will absolutely cripple the US economy and destroy jobs. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and today on the internet, we're here on the Daily Mail, and I want to talk about Joe Biden. So not only was Joe Biden's first congressional speech, not only was it a massive failure with like the lowest ratings in US history, I mean, in 2017, 43 million Americans tuned in to Trump's first speech alone. The audience for Biden's speech was 49% smaller. You had a video of Ted Cruz falling asleep, but more importantly, the things that Biden, the bumbling fool, talked about were absolutely, it's just the most moronic, communist, socialist, dumb things you've ever heard. The DNC is completely out of control. Here on the Daily Mail, Biden sounded like a 15-year-old who's been given a credit card. GOP tears into president's $6 trillion spending spree as even Democrats start to question how he'll pay for it. Joe Biden's spending spree and proposals are so bad, so expensive, and so fiscally irresponsible that even the Democrats are questioning how they're gonna pay. And when Democrats are questioning how they're gonna pay for this stuff, you know it's bad. Now we're gonna talk about this, folks. Before we do, please remember to smash that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell for updates on more content, and share the video. Here it says, politicians and pundits from both parties are tearing into Joe Biden's massive spending proposals as questions arrive over how the president plans to pay for it all. Quote, the words of this speech sounded like what you would hear from a 15-year-old if you gave him a credit card with no credit limit on it. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie said Wednesday night during a discussion on ABC News. Basically, Biden keeps coming up with another $1 trillion spending plan almost every other day. Biden unveiled in his first addresses to a joint session of Congress Wednesday evening that yet another multi-trillion-dollar plan, this time aimed at human infrastructure or economic and social welfare plans. His America Rescue Jobs and Family plans would cost a combined $6 trillion. With only $1.9 trillion being approved by Congress. Even Senator Joe Manchin, a centrist Democrat, says that he is not comfortable with the price tag of Biden's new plan. He says, we're now at a $28.2 trillion debt, so you have to be very careful. There's a balance to be had. Now, the Democrats keep making the claim that they're simply going to raise taxes, tax the rich. But it is a simple matter of fact that even if you taxed everybody in America, I'm talking the rich people, the poor people, everybody, Elon Musk, Bezos, you would not even have the money to pay this off. Now, I want to put this in perspective. For example, it is estimated that in the year of 2020, total tax revenue, I'm talking about total tax revenue paying for everything, was $3.71 trillion. You could take the entire tax revenue of the United States, try to pay off this tax, and you still would not be able to do it. Not only that, you'd have no money for your military, no money for your social programs, no money for schools, no money for roads, no money for the president, no money for anybody. This really puts into perspective how insane the Democrat plan is. Now, the Democrats are claiming that they're going to create a bunch of jobs, but what they don't tell you is where's that money going to come from? It's going to come from you. Now, there are people out there who are so foolish and so naive that they're saying things like, I don't care about the taxes on the rich. Who cares about the rich? Screw them. Increase their taxes. Well, let's interject a little dose of reality. One, the rich people are not going to pay those taxes. They will simply leave and take their money elsewhere. Congrats. You just destroyed millions of jobs, hurt the economy, crashed the stock market. Wonderbar. Number two, all of the costs that the rich people are going to have to pay is going to be passed down to the consumer. So if taxes go up 50%, you, the consumer, are going to see a very, very large increase in the prices of services and products. Oh, sure, you might enjoy that $4 jug of milk right now, but give it time and you'll be paying $8 to $10 for a gallon of milk. I'm not saying this is exactly what's going to happen. This is just an example, but don't be surprised. Now, what I find so funny about this is the media constantly trying to tell us that Biden is some sort of hero, that he's the most popular president that ever lived. Here on YouTube, for example, you have President Biden's full address to Congress, posted by the Wall Street Journal. This video has 73,000 views and 5.8 thousand dislikes. Only 1,200 likes. This, my friends, is the most popular president in U.S. history. You know, I've never seen a more pathetic and foolish president than Joe Biden. While he lives out his fantasies of being the big bad president, apparently, he doesn't even know what's going on in his own government. Here on the Daily Mail, Biden insists that he had no idea that Rudy's home and office was being raided and claims that the DOJ was more politicized under Trump after Giuliani's son said that the FBI ignored evidence on Hunter Biden. Yes, we are currently seeing raids on conservatives by the DOJ and the FBI. They've basically become lapdogs for the radical left Democrats. I'm not even joking. Everything in this speech from Joe Biden was literally communism, socialism, ridiculous social programs that we do not have money for. How about instead of trying to spend, and you're gonna make the money printer go brrr, instead of doing that and causing hyperinflation, doubling the price of food, doubling the price of housing, maybe you should actually do things that will help the economy instead of increasing spending, raising taxes, and hurting the little guy. But that, my friends, is pretty much the story. I mean, there's really not much to say here. Biden is trying to spend $6 trillion. He's trying to raise taxes to collect almost $1 trillion extra dollars. And where do you think that money's going to come from? You think the rich are going to pay all that? Of course not. They're just going to pass the cost along to you. Ultimately, the American people will suffer as America continues to fall into decay, legally, morally, and economically. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. Let me know what you think down below. Comment, support the channel by joining me on Patreon or Subscribestar. Joining will give you access to a private Discord server called Fight Club. Rule number 1, don't talk about Fight Club. Anyhow, thanks for watching. See you all next time.